Hello! Today we're going to be looking at some examples of how to use the WorkSight Flow Pay module. In WorkSight Flow, timecards are integrated with the schedule, time off, and mobile application, accumulating all the relevant timecard data as a timecard for approval. Our rules and tools help to ensure accurate calculations. However, sometimes changes do still need to be made, and that's what we're going to look at today. The first thing we're going to look at is how to edit the time or units worked. For this example, we're going to say that Quinn Elrond worked an extra hour of overtime on Monday the 16th. To make that change, we're going to select any cell that aligns with Monday the 16th, and we're going to see his daily timecard open below. This is where we can make our edits. To add that extra hour, we're going to go to this bottom end time cell, and we're going to edit that to 17.5. We click the pencil icon here to apply those changes. And if we want to double check, we can hover over the cell and see the time translate into a 12-hour clock. So we know that 17.5 equals 5:30. To save these changes, we're going to click the Save button here at the top. And we're going to see WorkSight run a couple of rules. The first thing you can notice is that another row was added to account for his daily overtime. So that extra hour is now getting paid at a rate of 1.5 rather than the usual rate of 1. If we scroll up, we can see his timecard summary has added a new column for his regular overtime, so that 1 hour on Monday has applied. And if we went over to our summary mode, we could see that change apply on the summary timecard as well. The next thing we're going to look at is how to change a reason code. I have Quinn's timecard open for Wednesday the 18th. Let's say he worked the first half of his shift. He went on his break, and while he was on his break, he realized he was very, very sick and had to go home. We're going to change his reason from regular to sick. Save the edits. And again, we'll see WorkSight run a couple of rules. We can see that his reason is now changed to sick, and he was not paid for those 4 hours anymore. And a sick column has been added to the timecard summary and the summary view. As I mentioned before, timecard data is automatically generated based on the employee's scheduled shifts in the Plan module. At times, a timecard for an employee without an associated scheduled shift in Plan will need to be created. These timecards are called ad hoc timecards. An ad hoc timecard can be created directly in the Pay module for a scheduled employee on their day off or a non-scheduled employee. Adding a timecard for a scheduled employee on their day off. To create a timecard for a scheduled employee on their day off, we're going to click on the row that aligns with the date that we want to add a timecard for. We're going to go into our daily timecard, and I've found the easiest way to autofill in this data, assuming that he worked his usual shift, is by deleting the shift type and re-entering it in. We'll see WorkSight run its rules and apply the relevant data, his appropriate start and end time, and when we save those changes, we'll see the rest of the rules run and apply, and we can see his rate has been applied as well, and it's taking into account that this is his day off overtime. Creating a timecard for a non-scheduled employee. To create a timecard for a non-scheduled employee, we're going to start by clicking the Add Timecard for Employee button, and we're going to select his name or type it in. We can see that he already worked on Monday in a different group. We're working right now in the finishing room group, so we're going to add a job on another day for this area. We're going to change this to finishing room. We're going to say that he worked as a packing operator that day. And let's say that he worked the night's shift. We can see WorkSight has automatically filled in all the relevant data. We can click Save, and we'll see that generate here. And we can see that he has now been added to the pay summary for the finishing room as well. Changing the timecard status. Once we have our timecards all finished and edited, we can get our employees to sign off on them via their mobile devices. Once that's complete, we can approve the time cards and get them ready to move on to send to payroll. The progress of each time card can be tracked by changing the status. Different types of users will have the ability to change the time card status as they finish their role with it. The status of each time card can be changed on a bi-weekly, weekly, or daily basis. An organization may have a multi-level approval process for time cards. The current choices are single or double approval with employee sign-off. The first step of the time card approval workflow is sign-off. This is done by your employees. Once a time card is signed off by the employee, it indicates to the supervisor that the time card is ready for their review and approval. The second step of the time card approval workflow is accept. Once a time card is in accepted status, it indicates to the payroll administrator that the time card is ready for payroll processing. Once a time card is in the signed off or accepted status, it can still be rejected and sent back into outstanding. When a time card is rejected, the approval steps must be completed again by each stakeholder in the process. This is just a brief example of how to use the WorkSight Flow Pay module. Interested in learning more about WorkSight Flow? You can contact us at sales@worksight.net, visit our website at www.worksightflow.com, or give us a call at 1-877-740-3800. Thank you for watching.